Hey guys, welcome to Blue Pill Podcast. This is Abe, your host. Happy Easter, everyone. I did an Easter special yesterday. I got a little crazy at the end. I'm sorry. I got a little crazy. I was just excited about Easter. I also did a 420 special before, 2 episodes before last episode, so 3 episodes ago. If you guys want to check those out, those are both Conspiracy Corner episodes. Today's a Blue Pill episode. Because I've been off for the past 2 days, today and yesterday, and been playing video games, and I beat a couple of them. And wanted to review them. So, this might be a double review, not sure, depending on the length of each review. I might do 2 today, I might just do 1, just depending on how long I talk about them. So, but I did have we did kind of have some plans that didn't go through, which we were kind of up for debate if we were going over to my wife's family for Easter dinner. We didn't end up doing that. Today was 420. I wanted to honestly get some weed and go watch the new Cheech and Chong in theaters. It comes out today, but I had to spend like $30 on a lawnmower battery yesterday to get the mower running. So I'm like, and I'm not the richest dude. Like, I just now got full time. I'm not making as much money as I used to at Kroger's. So, yeah, I need to be careful with my money. But, so, Construction Zone. That's what I'm reviewing today. It's made by Matchbox and Caterpillar. So I was a little concerned, like when I first seen this. By the way, this was a cheap pickup. I got 3 games that day. I got this Construction Zone, which is a black cart. Turok 2, Seeds of Evil. Both of these are black carts. Basically, black carts. It's when Game Boy Color first came out, they knew that a lot of their customers, this was actually pretty cool on behalf of Nintendo, a lot of their customers still had the gray brick Game Boys. So they're like, well, we don't want to just like completely screw them if they can't afford a Game Boy Color just yet. So a lot of the first games that came out for Game Boy Color were backwards compatible for gray brick Game Boy, which was pretty cool. So you can play this on Game Boy. Same with the Turok one, which I'm in the middle of playing it. I'll do a review on it whenever I beat it or I'm done. Stuck, you know. And third one I got was a Game Boy Color cartridge only Armorines. This one's pretty cool. Looks, as you can see, it doesn't have a saving battery. It is password. But I was a little concerned getting this. Luckily, back in the day, like we didn't have internets. I was born 91, and basically you had to look at a game cover and go, oh, that looks really cool. Otherwise, and sometimes it would suck too, because like here's an example. Like I bought a game the other day, and I should have YouTubed it and checked it out, seen if it was cool, but it was only like $3, so it wasn't like a horrible loss or anything. But it was a game called Shanghai, and it's a Game Boy cart, the gray one, and it had this cool fucking dragon on the cover, and it was named Shanghai. So I was like thinking, oh, this will be like a cool side scroll, maybe like ninja game or samurai game or something, like Chinese swordsman game, or like a top-down action adventure. I was like, so I just bought it. I was like, $3, hell yeah, it looks cool. I got home, and it's literally like Mahjong, and I don't know how to play Mahjong, and 2, I'm just like, what? So I was really disappointed in that. And this one, where it says Matchbox on it, I was like, oh man, this is gonna be like kind of like a Hot Wheel game, like your little construction, like you're gonna be like toys, you know. But actually, I YouTubed it and checked it out, And here lately, I've been really big into like simulation games, simulator games. I played Let's Ride Dreamer and beat it. And it's go check that review out if you're interested in like simulator games. I don't know why. The older I've gotten, that's kind of what I'm into right now is simulator games. That one was like a horse simulator game, like point and click. You take care of your horse. Then you get to take it out on like little mini quest and take it to competitions, and it's basically a simulator game of owning a horse. So when I seen that this was a simulator game and it was $7.99. By the way, all three of these carts were all $7.99. So I got a pretty good pull game haul that day. Actually, this one was $5.99. They actually knocked $2 off. So I made out like a bandit that day. But this is basically a construction simulator game, which is pretty cool. Like, there's multiple vehicles. There is like a paving vehicle. You got a scoop vehicle, which you dig and drop dirt in holes. Like this claw machine thing that picks up pipes and it lays pipes and lays pipes. And you'll have to forgive me because I don't know the names of like these machines. Which it was kind of cool and kind of educational. I thought this was like a really cool educational game that they put for like kids, you know, because it's directed towards kids. Adults can have fun playing it too, but it's directed towards kids, you know. And whenever you hop inside of a new vehicle, because each level you have to like hop inside multiple different vehicles to do different parts of the job. Like when you pick up a pipe, drive it to the hole, lay the pipe, they put the pipe together, and then now you got to change vehicles and get the scoop and pick up dirt and then drop the dirt off over the pipe. Like, it's pretty neat. Like, you're actually building and fixing stuff. But yeah, when you get in each vehicle, it tells the name of the vehicle, the model, and like tells its stats. And so you're kind of learning. It's an educational game. And it kind of made me, I think it'd be cool for kids, boys, you know, like little boys, like, who are, maybe their dad does construction and their dad's their hero and they want to be a construction worker like their dad. Like, I think it's neat, you know. I mean, you could get into the conspiratorial part of that, of like Rockefeller school system, training people for the workforce, or I don't see it being a bad thing if a kid is interested in construction work. Like, it's good money, it's hard work, it's dangerous work, but it's good money, you know. And I don't see that being a problem. I think we push children into college. Like, I remember in high school, it was actually kind of discouraging, but they had like college companies come to the school, which, how crazy is that? Trying to get kids to go to college, get them in debt. And they were saying like the most evil shit too, like, because they're like, well, are you interested in college? I'm like, I'd love to go, but I'm from a poor family. And they're like, well, you could do student loans. And I'm thinking in my head, so that way I'm paying off loans for the rest of my life. And I'm like, also, I don't even know what I want to be. And I really didn't. I had all sorts of ideas. Like, I thought about Air Force, I thought about mechanic, I thought about bartender, I thought about journalism. Those were the four things that I genuinely planned on doing. I ended up going to bartending school and becoming a bartender, and basically bartending for 8 years of my life, you know, a huge chunk of my life. It was fun. I don't do it anymore because I have drinking problems, and I had to stop doing it for a while until I got my drinking under control. But yeah, like, this whole mindset, and like when I told them like my SAT score, I pretty much Christmas treated it, because I knew I wasn't going to college. I knew I was from a poor family. My mom and dad had divorced. We didn't have any fucking money. We were barely getting by. I had to work, you know, as a tutor, and like was getting 4 hours a day minimum wage tutoring kids for the Garrett County School Board. Like, yeah, I knew I wasn't going to college, and I knew I wasn't smart enough to get a grant. I think that's what they called a grant, because my thing was in high school, like I was um super good at like English, psychology, history, but I was horrible at science and math, because science, they introduced math into science in high school, and I just was horrible at math. Like I literally had a freshman level in math, and I got called up to the office guidance counselor, and they're like, we don't even know what to do with you. You have more credits than you need to graduate, but you don't have credits in the right areas. And I'm like, I don't know. I ended up doing like computer classes and graduating as summer school computer classes and graduating 2010 and a half. You know, when I tell people that, when they ask what year I graduated, they're like, and a half. I'm like, yeah, I had to take fucking summer school, you know. Yeah, and the guidance counselor was almost mad that I got it. She like handed it to me, like, here's your diploma, you know. It's like, okay, bitch. But I don't know, like I just feel like if you're a kid and you want to be a construction worker, you know, like I don't see anything wrong with that. And I've had family members who, I'm not gonna say who, but like have discouraged, like, you know, oh, you don't want to work at McDonald's. And it's like, hey man, I've worked at McDonald's, you know. You got to do what you got to do, you know. That, and I always just thought it was shitty, like, you don't want to work at McDonald's, or you don't want to be a janitor. And it's like, well, why are you putting people down for what they do for work? Like, to me, that's just always been shitty. Like, every job's important. Somebody has to do it, you know. I mean, obviously you want your kids to reach for the stars, but you also want them to do something that's an obtainable goal, you know. And I don't know, I just feel like it's shitty to like trash someone on what they do for work, especially in the dating field, you know. And it's like, dude, you should just be happy they're working. You know how many people are lazy and don't work or don't want to work, you know? Sorry about that spiel, but it'd be good for kids who are interested in it. It's good for, honestly, I could see like little hillbilly kids liking it, because there is a farm levels to where you're like mowing, I guess like corn or wheat or tobacco or something. You have a big mower and you mow over it. And that's another thing too. It kind of reminds me of like what I tell you when I like simulator games is like I have a Mercury. Yeah, it's like a bootleg system. It's actually pretty cool. Backlit. It's got like 300 games, rechargeable with USB. But they have a game on there, and it's literally a mowing game. Like you mow lawns, and I don't know why. Just simple, little, easy, relaxing games like that. Because sometimes, man, games can be frustrating, you know. And it's a good game. Like simulator games to me are good for like after a long day at work and you just want to relax. I understand why like Stardew Valley's so huge right now, or Minecraft, or it's just a relaxing, simple game of like, hey, I'm just gonna drive around and build stuff, you know, or mow. Speaking of levels, like we talked a little bit about the farm level. There's a forest level where you're like moving timber and stuff. A neighborhood level, like one of the parts is you like dig and pave a basketball court. Like you make a basketball court, you know, which was pretty cool. I did find, I have to say, like the paving machine was a little tricky. Because, like, sometimes you'd have to back into it, like, push A, makes this sound, and then you'd have to, like, go back around and you'd had to hit it specifically perfectly correct for it to start paving what you need to pave. So that was a little bit of a frustration as far as the game mechanics, specifically only really that device. Like every other vehicle in the game I felt like worked pretty well, so that was like a Now one thing I noticed is, I do have to say, man, I felt like, I don't know if it was Matchbox or Caterpillar, the company, which company it was, because they both helped make this game. Whoever it was, dude, that made this game, I felt like they actually cared about their job and actually cared about the quality of the game. Because one thing I noticed that was pretty cool, and it is a shorter game. Well, I'd say it's like a medium length game. It's not super long, but it's not super short. There's like 26 levels, and each level can last up to like 15-20 minutes, you know. So it's a long game, you know. Well, some of the levels are shorter, but maybe it just felt like it was 15-20 minutes. I don't know, because I was immersed in it. But yeah, like especially there's city levels. Like when you're in the city, all the buildings look different. Because you know how like a lot of games, it's either laziness, lack of money, or lack of time, that with cities, like the buildings will repeat. Not with this game. And it's sections of the cities that are pretty big. Some of the sections are pretty big, but like I noticed driving down the road, like there'd be a gas station with gas pumps, and there's little signs. Each sign actually shows what it is. There's like restaurants. I don't know, I just thought that was neat. I was like, oh wow, this is actually like each building's different. You know what the building is, like the building designs were cool. So whoever did the maps on these games and the actual scenery and levels, like kudos to you. You did like a really cool job. A good job on that. So I did think this was kind of funny and like almost like a comic relief. Not that this game was stressful or anything, but there is a little foreman character, which is like the classic little Game Boy sprite. He's kind of cute looking. And if you ever play this game, like keep an eye on him, because he tells you what to do. Like he'll wave you over. Whenever you complete your task, you know, he'll celebrate and do a backflip. And then he tells you like, hey, driving symbol over this direction. He points directions of like, now you got to switch vehicles. He kind of tells you what to do, like an actual foreman. So it's accurate as far as construction simulation. And it's so weird too. Like it reminded me of like Dig Dug, because, and I actually had an issue with this, and I'll tell you in a second, but he will like pop out of the ground and like tell you what to do, and then when you're done with the task, he will like do a backflip, celebrate, and then dig back into the ground and disappear. So I don't know, it was just every time I'd see it, I just would smile. It's just funny. Now this game did have a couple glitches. So it glitched at level 23. So I had to use the paver, and I finished paving this section, and then right below it I had to pave this section too, and it was a real tight fit. And as soon as I was driving, the foreman popped up underneath me, and I could not move, so I had to redo the whole fucking level. So level 23, there is a glitch. And then there was a glitch on level 25 that I couldn't get past it. I literally picked up a pipe, and the whole game, like, all the colors changed, and it totally glitched out. I could still see kind of what I was doing, but I had to eventually turn it off and restart it. It is an older cart, so maybe it was a cart issue, maybe it was the company, but... And there was one more glitch of a password, and it was, let's see, I wrote down the password, and it would not work. And it's like, it was like right at the very end of the game, there was these three glitches. So maybe whenever they had someone test it out, maybe they didn't play the entire game, um, and got really close to the end and was like, okay, yeah, it's good, it's fine, you know, it's like there's only like 3 more levels, the game's good enough, you know, but it's like that's where all the glitches were. And there was a password that I had to type in, and it would not work, and it was right at the end of the game. So then I like Googled it, and it's the exact same password that I wrote down. So I'm like, what the fuck? And then I typed it in again, it would not work. So, unfortunately, I had to do the password for the level before, redo that level, then redo that level, the next level, just to get to like the final level or whatever. So that was a little frustrating. There was a couple times I had to redo stuff, because of glitches, because of passwords, but it was only 3 times. So nothing too crazy. So this game, like I said, it's not super long, but it's actually a meaty game, man. It's 26 levels. Each level's, like I said, about 10 minutes, sometimes 15 minutes, sometimes 20, just because, you know, I'm not the brightest bulb in the box, and it is kind of hard sometimes to figure it out. Like, it's almost like a puzzles, you know, like what machine do I do? Do I dig here? You know what I mean? But it's not like super difficult. It's really not. Besides just the paving thing, that was a little glitchy, but I could see, honestly, I watched like people do long plays and they beat it in like an hour and a half. So if you like know what you're doing, if you played this game a bunch of times, like, it'd be a fun game to speed run, you know. I'm sure there's people out there who have speed runned it. Yeah, like it's a good game for like if you got a day off and you just want to play, like nothing else to do, like no plans or nothing, and it's just a chill at home day. It's your day off. It's a cool game to just kind of sit down and beat it in a day. I beat it in 3 or 4 days, but the reason why is because it was during a work week. So I would only play a couple hours after work, 1 or 2 hours, hour and a half, 30 minutes sometimes, depending on how tired I was. So it did take me 3 or 4 days to beat. But if you just started it like in the morning with your coffee and played it throughout the day, you could beat it by the end of the day. Like, if you're taking breaks. And you can beat it technically, it'd be an hour and a half sitting, so about the length of a movie. You could beat it in one sitting if you just sat there and grinded. I like to take times with my games. I'm kind of a casual gamer. I'm not all about like, oh, I gotta beat this game as fast as I can. For one, I've made a deal with myself that when I beat a game, I can go out and buy a new game. So I don't want to beat games like bam, 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 like beating them. I mean, I've been playing the fuck out of games because I'm in like a stressful time in my life right now, and this is very therapeutic. But yeah, like I'm beating games pretty quick, as you can tell by how many reviews I've done. But I'm not rushing through them, and I'm trying to do the extra side stuff. So as far as like options, there is no options on the game. There's no music option. There is no difficulty option, because it's not really. It's more of just kind of like it's a simulator game. You don't need a difficulty option. You know, it's not. I never felt stressed out, and I think that's why I liked this game so much. Was it was just relaxing. The game is really cheery. It's kind of catchy. Like I found myself learning the songs, and like kind of like I'd go and pause it and get a cup of coffee and be whistling it or humming it, you know. So the music's dope. The colors, some of the levels are kind of dull, like the farm levels, the forest level, like the outskirts of town level, the construction sites levels. But it kind of makes sense, because like I used to work construction with my dad when I was younger. He would sneak me on job sites, on the weekends, and I would work like a grown ass man in Florida heat, 80, 90 degree weather, you know, on construction sites doing. My dad did try boxes, putting up air, like the tubes. If you don't know what it is, like the tubes, he would put that up in the rafters of houses being built for AC or heat, you know. So I helped him do that. Give me just a second. And honestly, as a kid, even I was like, man, I don't know if I could, because my dad would try to talk me into doing it for a job as a career for myself. And for one, it's tough work, dude. Kudos to anyone who does construction, man. I did it just a little bit as a kid, a couple years, you know, and that shit is tough work, dude. I always have felt bad for construction workers, like out there in the heat. It's hard fucking work, man. I have made less money than they have made, I'm sure, but like, yeah, I don't want to do construction. I work at a gas station. I've done bartending. I've done restaurants, cook. Yeah, I'll keep my easy air conditioned jobs, like, and I'm willing to make less money to enjoy my comfort. But that being said, like, yeah, construction sites are very dull, so it's understandable why the colors, that some of the levels look kind of dull, you know. The city levels are very bright and colorful, and definitely a change of pace. There's no vehicles driving past you, which is fine. That would have been kind of cool if there's people walking around and vehicles driving past you, though. That would have been neat. You're always in the vehicle, and you can drive up to another vehicle and switch vehicles. So there's no free roam. It's kind of sandbox-ish, kind of like a Driver for Game Boy Color, which I'll do a review on one day. You never get out of the car. It's a sandbox game, but you're always stuck in the car, the vehicle. I mean, it doesn't bother me, but it would have been cool to get out of the vehicle and talk to the foreman and get to explore the city just for fun, you know. That would have been cool, but I understand why they didn't do it. They just like, no, we're not doing all this crazy extra stuff, you know. Let's keep it simple. Keep it simple, stupid. So it wasn't necessary, but it could have been cool, you know. But as far as options, there's no options. So, like, because I was looking, I was like, well, honestly, I could see it being a simulator game. So this is kind of a downfall. It would have been nice to be able to turn the music off and just hear just the sound effects. So that way, if you really want to make it like even more realistic, it would be like a construction site of like just quiet machinery, digging sound effects, and I could see someone wanting to turn the music off, so that's kind of like you're not able to. I'd say the replay value on it, it's decently high, because I mean, I feel like with shorter games, the replay value is more higher. Like, I'm not gonna replay this, not saying for the rest of my life, but I could see me playing this maybe like years from now, you know, now that I beat it. There is, like I said, no difficulty, so that doesn't play into the place of the replay value, but I could see it being a decently high replay value, especially for kids, you know. It is directed towards kids and stuff. There is like one cutscene when you beat the game, so that's kind of cool. You get fireworks and a side scroll of all the vehicles. I guess the actors in the movie, you know. It is kind of neat. The music's all cheery and celebratory, so it is cool. Like, they gave you a cutscene at the end, which is rare for Game Boy Color. But I loved this game, dude. If it would not have had the glitches, I don't know if I've given a game 10 out of 10 yet, but I would have given this game 10 out of 10. But due to the 3 glitches that I ran across, like, I have to give it a 9 out of 10. I loved this game. This game was freaking awesome. So it's really cheap. If you ever find it, get it. It's fun. If you like simulator games, it's fun as hell. But I can't give it 10 out of 10 because of the glitches. And like I said, it could be because it's such an old cart. It is a little rough looking too, so I'm sure a kid owned it and threw it on the floor, and you know how kids are. But yeah, 9 out of 10. Decent game. I hope y'all enjoyed. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'm trying to get up to 500 subscribers, and next review will probably be on Cartoon Network Speedway. And I'm currently playing these two, so keep an eye out for future reviews, because I ain't gonna stop playing, and I ain't gonna stop reviewing. Y'all have a good day.